Hi, this is Betsy Brantner-Smith, and I'm here with Morty Chikansky. He is a retired NYPD detective, first grade, and he has an extraordinary amount of experience in dealing with terrorism, the investigation of terrorism, and we want to talk about what your average cop on the street needs to look for when we're investigating something that we think might be radical in nature, could be terrorist related, because it's not just in the big cities now, in New York, Chicago, LA, it's everywhere. What are, give us some suggestions, Morty.
Just to start, prior to 9/11, I was involved with a couple of terror-related investigations. They were terrorist murders. I know as a regular detective, I was not thinking in terms of terrorism. I was thinking of catching the bad guy, closing the case, end result. Post 9/11, the world has changed, meaning it's come to our shores. It's not something that just happens over there. So which basically means if you see something, you have to say something. So a cop in mid-America pulling over a car, seeing some papers in the car that seem to, if you saw a picture of Osama bin Laden, that looks like it's a little too complimentary. Mm-hmm. That's something you have to be aware of. So my suggestion is get as much information on the individual, give it to whatever local fusion center or JTTF, Joint Terrorist Task Force, give them the information. But don't just rely on giving them the information, follow up. Ask them, did something come of this information I gave you? Of course, now we have two responsibilities, because you saw after 9/11, so much damage and so much carnage could happen in one day that all the good work you've done prior is not negated, but this is much bigger than traditional crime. And they're everywhere. When I say everywhere, it's not like this city's off limits and people could get radicalized in prison, so his name could be Joe Smith. So if there's something that you don't feel right, ingredients that could be used for explosives, cut up rebar, it's just different things that just don't fit the mode. Say something and get it to somebody who can make it actionable.
Now, do you recommend that officers, when they, make that traffic stop or come into an apartment on a domestic or suspicious noise call or whatever, and they start to see things that they think, might be radical in nature, do you recommend that they engage, talk to these guys and gals, or just note what they see and give somebody a call?
If it's something that could possibly be used for explosives, you have to take action. That can't wait, because that could be 5 minutes later.
Right.
So obviously you have to deal with that. But I'm more referring to literature.
Right. Should they try and engage, or just note it?
I would make a note, but an immediate follow-up.
Okay.
I mean, I say with certain things, I used to say if I had a bank case where, it was a stolen check, if I solve it today or I solve it tomorrow, the person's going to be reimbursed and hopefully get the bad guy.
Right.
Terrorism is something that can't wait. It has to be immediately actionable. Means the second you leave that apartment, 10 minutes after you do that car stop, the phone call has to be made. Mm-hmm. And a follow-up has to be made to find out that something was done with the information. Don't be afraid. There's no such thing as being politically correct anymore. If you feel it and you see it, you have to do it.
So trust your gut.
Trust your gut like somebody's carrying a gun. Trust your gut somebody has narcotics. Same exact. If you're thinking in terms of wearing two hats, both traditional crime, because that's not going anywhere, and that's our primary responsibility. Mm-hmm. But terrorism is there too. And the effects or the after event of terrorism is so much greater that you must act on it.
And we are the first line of defense here, the thin blue line in the United States. So we all have to be prepared for it. And we thank you for helping get us better prepared.
My pleasure, Betsy. Thank you.